Okay. Yeah. So when we say procurement, our basic configurations will start from we have certain prerequisites that we have seen in inventory. So that is, if at all I want to have the procurement to be enabled for transaction, so I will need inventory organization. Before that, I'll need the business unit created and the ledger, basically the finance related configurations. So once this setup is done, what I will need is that the inventory. So the inventory will be attached with the business unit and the ledger and the legal entity. So that we saw when we were creating the inventory org and the other related configurations. Okay, so these things we have, I mean, we have it already in place. So now what we will do is that, yeah, also the business unit, we have it in place. So what I will do is that I will directly start from the procurement specific configurations. Okay, so basically we have a common configuration, so that will link PO and the financials. So, okay, normal we call it financial options. So this is just a term change. Okay, so that anyway, we will see this. Okay, so that is nothing but we will just give the account code combination and these things. Okay, so as a first step, what I will do, I'll create an buyer, that is procurement agent. I'll create it. Okay, so there is a slight change between the earlier version and this one. So that is, if at all I want to create the supplier site, so I cannot create it directly. So the earlier version, if you look at it, I can create it directly. I don't need any access. So I only need these functions to be assigned to me. So that's all I needed. But here, what will happen is that this will have sort of an security wherein only the procurement agent will be able to create the supply site. So that is the prime reason that we will need the procurement agent to be configured in the system. So that I mean, for this user, basically I have configured it already. So I'm just showing so how we will do this. Okay. Yeah, so ours is it is Metro Business Unit. Okay, and the agent is nothing but the employee. So before creating here, so this particular person should be created as an employee in the HCM offering. So after creating as an employee, what we will do is that we will assign this particular employee to this business unit, that is procurement business unit. Okay. So when we say procurement business unit, then this applies for both requisition and the procurement. So which means it is going to just split into two. That is just a naming convention to have it requisition wise and the procurement BU. Okay. And then if I want to allow or restrict anything, so I can do all those restrictions and these things here. Okay. So since this is an practice, I did not restrict anything. So I gave the full access to this particular user. But whereas if I want to restrict at any level, so I'll be able to restrict it. Let's say this particular user will be only doing or making the requisition. So which means he is just creating the internal document. He is not creating any external document, that is purchase order. So in this case, I will give full access, but whereas the other things like the, let's say, the purchase order, so there might be a possibility that he will have the view access. So what I will do is that I will say this is view only. So he will not be able to create the purchase order, but he'll be able to view the purchase order. Okay, but he'll be able to create the requisition. So similarly, we have other options as well. So we have different transactions that we will do. So we have purchase agreement and the other things. So for each one of the transactions, we can set up the limit or the restrictions. Okay. So that's about the procurement agent. So I have created it already. Yeah. So this is the one that I created. Okay. So this has been populated based on the BU that we have assigned. So based on that, it is saying that for this particular business unit called Metro Express, we have only one procurement agent assigned. Okay. So this would be our initial configurations that we will do. And then we have, yeah, the payment terms we know. So this is part of financial setup. So that will be part of that. So only thing is that we will, so what is payment term is that it defines that how I'm going to make the payment. So since this is part of the P2P flow, so I'm just taking a minute to explain this. So it is nothing but it will tell to the system that how I want to make the payment, whether it is 7 days net or probably this is an immediate payment. So anything I can give. Okay. And probably if I want to set up the discounts and the other things, so I can do the this thing. Okay. And this payment term that we are defining. So this is an custom one. So now if I want to utilize the existing one, so what I'll do is that I'll query the existing one and simply I can add the assignment. So assignment here, it is nothing but the reference data set that we created initially. Okay, so this stays as an just a linking factor between the configuration. So without doing the configuration, I can just it is kind of an copying thing in this case, in this particular scenario. Okay, so that's about the payment term. And after this, we have the procurement foundation. I mean the, yeah. Okay, so the understanding is that we have already created the business unit. Okay, so ours is it is Metro business unit. Yeah, it is the one. Okay, so we will attach the payment terms that we created earlier. Okay, and shipment method by default we will have it with few seeded values that has been used in as an industry practice. Okay, and apart from that, if we want to define any custom shipping method, so very well we can define. So this applies for both the shipping method and the freight terms. Okay. So, but this is optional, so I did not give the other details. So I just gave these things. So that is the only the shipping method and the payment terms. Okay. And then by here I have attached it. So earlier step we created the procurement agent. So the same thing we have attached here. So yeah, and after that we have the inventory organization. So the inventory organization that we have attached here is that the different unit. So we have a lot of inventory organizations that we have created. Okay. So yeah, so here what I have attached is that Express, I mean Metro Express. So this is the one that we created initially. So I have attached that one. Apart from that, we have other unit as well. So probably if I want to change it, I can change it, provided I don't have any transactions that is entered in the system. Okay, with transaction we will have some implications which we need to take care. If at all there is an open POs and these things, so we need to take care of those things, and then probably we can have, because that will create the data corruption and the other issues. Okay, and then we have line type. So what is the default line type that we want to take? So if I want to take goods, I can take goods, or it is a service, I can take service. So whatever the things that I want to give, I can give. So this line type can be even customized, but we will not have requirement to customize. Probably we can use the existing line type itself. Okay, and then we have the currency. So currency is automatically populated based on the BU details that we have given. And the corporate rate is nothing but when we have the foreign currency transaction. So that is when we will have the rates that is defined in the system. So unless we have these rates in place for a particular date, let's say today I'm doing a transaction, I need the foreign currency rates to be defined in this particular rate. So unless I have that in place, I cannot do the transaction. So that's about it. Okay, and then we have a few performance related configurations. So that is, so this is based on the PO count and these things that we will have, because when we speak about PO, it is not only about the purchase order entry, it is also about the attachment. So we will make sure that we consider those things also, and then we will set up the file system. So here, since this is only for the purpose of practice, I did not change the byte size. I'm giving the same size, that is 100K. Okay. And then these reset tolerance percent. So at what point I can close this reset, which means if I want to close it manually, so whether I'll get any tolerance in this. So here I have given as 10%. So system is going to allow me a pre-closure of 10%. Okay. And when do I want to close this particular, when do I want to close the receipt? So I can select whether accepted or delivered or received. So most of the cases, it would be either received or delivered. Okay. So accepted is when we have the inspection and the other details, and delivered is that the standard delivery and these things. And received when we will choose is that when we have the direct route of receiving the items. So we have three kind of receipts in the system, that is direct, standard, and inspection. So it is just replica of those details. Okay, so accordingly we can choose our receipt close point. Okay, and then the match approval level. So how do I want to match this particular purchase order or the receipt? I mean, the basically the procurement transaction. How do I want to match it with invoice as a part of P2P cycle? So I can say two-way or three-way. So PO is not, I mean, matching with PO is two-way. Receipt is three-way, and after inspection, it is four-way. So for now, I'm giving two-way because I have given option to override also. So probably if I want, I can override there when when I'm creating the PO. Okay. Yeah, and then whether I want to allow the manual price update. Okay, so if I want to do that, I can probably enable this option. Okay, yeah, and then we have a few things about the group requisition and the other things. So these are the things that I have selected. So that is to group the requisition. So probably if I want to give any sort of criteria to group the requisition, so I can give it here. So the reason why I will give this is that when I will use this option is that when I receive the requisition from the external system, or let's say from the other application, I'm just receiving the data and I'm grouping into one requisition. So that is when basically I will use these options. Okay, so these are not mandatory. So these are optional configuration. So if we want, probably we can get. Okay. And then we have sourcing related informations. So there is nothing but the quotation and the other details we will get it from list of suppliers, and based on that we will move ahead with our purchase order and these things. Okay. So these are related to those set of configurations. Okay. And yeah. So that's about it. So here we don't have much things here. So only thing is that this one, what do you call, the purchasing document, I have selected this as an purchasing. Okay. Yeah. So others are not an mandatory configuration to do. So these are the things basically that I have done. Okay. Okay. So yeah, we have done it for the procurement business unit, and similarly we will do it for the requisition business unit as well. So similarly, I'll select the metro business unit. Okay, so these are specific to only the requisition processing or the requisition functionalities. So similar to the earlier one, I can select the line type. So that could be goods or service or anything. So I can do that. Okay. And then if I want to basically group the requisition import by based on, let's say, item, or let's say based on the supplier or the category. So I can give those details. Okay. And then I can give a few controls here on the right hand side, whether I want to initiate for reapproval, if at all there is a revision or there is any change that is made on the existing requisition. So I can enable the first option if at all I want to have that particular functionality to be enabled, that is to revise the requisition. I can enable it. Okay. And then creating the requisition, I can enable this too. Okay. And let's say I want to override the approval. Let's say there is an approval hierarchy wherein we have set up based on the supervisor. Let's say there is an hierarchy set up first level, second level, and third level. Now I instead of having at second or third, let's say I wanted to forward it to any specific person on an ad hoc or the emergency basis. So I can enable this option so that I can override at PO approval page. Okay, so wherein we have an option called manage approval. So from there, basically we can do those options. Okay, yeah. So that's about it. And yeah, and then we have the BU that we will select for the purchasing. Okay, so I have selected it. So similar to the earlier one. So here also I have given the tolerance as 10%. Okay. So these are like exceptional handling. So how do I want to handle for the exceptional cases? So this is what we have set up here. So that is I have given for multiple legal entities. I have given with error message. Okay. So that's about the uh, business unit functions for requisition. Okay. So next thing, what we will see is that, yeah, so the item part we have created it already. So we don't have anything special in item class. Okay. And apart from that, this we know this hazardous class and the UN numbers. So this is specific to the item creation and these things, wherein we will categorize the items on this particular basis. So this we can configure here, and probably, I mean, we have it under inventory also. So we can configure and we can attach it to the item that we have created or we will be creating. Okay. So that's about it. Okay. And then we have tab. So tab is nothing but transaction account builder. So what we will do with this is that our what is the difference between the earlier version and the existing tab is that earlier version, if you see, so we had something called account generator workflow. So which will generate the charge account and the other accounts. But here, in this case, it will not work in the sense we don't have the account generator workflow. So that has been removed in this particular version. So here what we have is that instead tab is nothing but account builder, transactional account builder. So this is similar to our SLA, that is subledger accounting configurations. So basically where it will start is that we will start from the subledger accounting options. So once we have created the TAD, so TAD is nothing but transactional account definition. So this is the collection of setups that we will have. I mean, this is the final step that we will do. So we will see each one of it. Okay, so before that, so we have the subledger accounting option. So this is where we will define or we will set up and attach our TAT after completing the configuration. So here what I will do is that I will pick the ledger that we were using, and probably I'll show here. So what I have attached. Okay. So based on this configuration, we have these things generated, that is TAD. Okay, so here let me pick the purchasing. Okay, so here if you see, I have selected TAD as PO account default, which means I'm using the default thing that has been provided. I mean, this is basically the seeded one, I believe. So the custom one, what we will do is that, okay, after customizing the accounting generation, so probably we can attach these in things here also. Okay, so this is where we will attach it, and if you see here, so these are the transactions that we have. So probably we will select the category based on the events. Okay, so in this case, yeah, we know this, that is requisition, purchase order, and these informations. Okay, so this is where basically we will attach it, and also we have certain things that we will have to see. So to start with, so we have sources. Okay, so here source is nothing but basically it defines that which application we are working, and here also we will see the list of objects that we have. Okay. So these are the seeded objects that we have. So probably if I want to look at any of these things, so I can enable these things. Okay. So here we can see that, I mean, we can see that this is displayed and this thing. Okay. So basically we will not create new objects under this. So we will start with mapping set. So under mapping set, what we will do is that we will create for probably, let's say this is an destination based accounting rule generation, or let's say the cost center based accounting rule generation. So I can give the list of conditions that I can use here. Okay. So how I will differentiate or how I will segregate is on the basis of output type. So whether this is an accounting combination, or this is an segment, or this is an value set. So the difference between each one of us that when I say account combination, which means this is my entire chart of account. So chart of account is nothing but the segment that we enter when we make the purchase order. Okay. So this is derived from our chart of account. So this is financial configurations. So from there it will pick, but when we say account combination, it is going to pick the entire chart of account structure. But when we say a particular segment, which means this could be a company or this could be account or any particular segment that we will be defining here. Our value set, we know it is sort of an at value set level instead of having it at segment level. So this is the difference between each one of it. So based on the requirement, we can change the output type accordingly. Okay. Yeah. So let me. I'm not creating any. So probably I'll just show the options that we have inside this. Okay, so now if you see here, so this is always based on the events that we will be performing. So in this case, if you see, let's say I want to generate this sequence or the generate this charge account for my requisition. So what I will do is that I'll select here as requisition, and then probably I can select the source and the respective component that I want to use here as an input parameter. Okay, so let's say I want to use this input parameter. So here what is input parameter is that, let's say I wanted to derive this particular account code combination based on the buyer that I'm choosing, or based on the delivery location that I'm choosing. So there are multiple combinations of the parameters that we have here. So probably we can use any one of that, but this parameter is used to fetch this accounts or the mapping. Okay. So here if you see, we have the preparer, we have the supplier, supplier site, ship to location. All those things are there. Yeah. So probably you can look at it. So we have a lot of parameters inside it. Okay. So yeah, so here what I will do is that let me pick this as an deliver to. Yeah, so I'm picking this as an requisition, and for requisition, I'm saying this is deliver to is my input parameter. So when I pick this deliver to location, so what system will do is that system will basically look for this particular rule, and it will check the input and output that I'm going to give in my mapping. Okay. So here I will give the chart of accounts that I want to use. So let me pick this one. Okay. And now if you see here, so we will add the condition. So this is where actually we are creating the mapping. So here mapping is nothing but, so this is our condition, that is delivered to location. Okay. And this is where we are defining all those input and the values. Okay. So what should be my deliver to address? So I say this is an Apple BU address. Okay. And also I will specify the Apple structure that, so this is how system will basically understand those relevant details. Okay. So let me pick a structure of this. So So these are not the relevant accounts. So just to show this, I'm just picking this account. But if you see here, so we will not have this account. Instead, what we will have is that pivot charge account. So I don't have created for this particular chart of account. So for the existing business unit, I have created it already, the charge account flows. So that is the reason I'm not picking that. So probably after this, we will see. So what we have done as a part of this particular BU specific configurations. Okay. Yeah. So now it has come. So here we can see that this is my deliver to location, and this is my instance that system should pick from. So this is the account it will pick. So now the understanding is that when I say this particular business unit or this particular unit that I have specified here, so what I will do is that I will attach this particular setup in the coming configuration, and the end one, that is tag, I will attach with my ledger. So my ledger will understand, okay, this is the configuration that I should pick. and I should fetch basically. So here the input source, if the input source is 01 Apple BU location, what system should do is that it should derive this account code combination as 000 11 300. So this is the sequence, the combination system should derive. So this way we are setting up the mapping between each one of it. Okay. So similarly, we can set up any number of input and the output combination that we want to capture. Okay. And also we can add the and condition and these things in the next set of configurations. Okay. Okay. So now what we have done is that we created one mapping set. And based on that mapping set, what we will do is that we will create multiple accounting rules. So the reason why we will create multiple accounting rule is that basically we will have to generate it for the destination and charge account, and so there are multiple combinations that we will create. So that is the reason we are creating multiple accounting rules. Okay. So I'll just say add, and here if you see, we have an option to either attach the mapping rule that we created, okay, or what I can do is that simply I can say, let me give a name for this. Okay, so I have selected this as an Apple COA instance. And so this is similar thing that we saw in the earlier setup. Okay. And then here I can give the rules. So how do I want to generate the rules for this particular unit? Okay. So here I can select either the constant, I can specify the account rule here directly, stating that this is the rule that I want to attach. So how I will attach the accounting rule is that I will have to create another account rule, and I will attach that particular rule to this rule. Okay. So this is kind of a parent and child combination we will create, and we will attach it here. So that is with the option of accounting rule. And the other option that we have is that constant. So constant is nothing but we are just entering the constant value. So there will be few cases wherein, let's say, this is the delivered to location, or this is the cost center that I'm choosing. So I wanted to hard code my value, or let's say the default value that I want to have. So for those cases, what I will do, I will say this is a constant value. Okay. And the widely used option is that mapping set. So based on the mapping set, I will pick the combination and the other informations. So if you see earlier step, we created one mapping set. Probably I'll pick that. Okay. Okay. So this is the other one which I created. Let's search for the one that we created. Yeah, this is the one that we created. That is SA train. Okay, so in this case, we have the list of condition that we can perform. So as I said, we have and condition that we can attach it here. So what I will do, So I can directly enter if I know the basic inputs and the other formats, so I can do so. If not, what I can do, I can click the source, and from source I can pick the event. And after picking the event, basically I can give the combination. So here I'm selecting this for let's say purchasing. So let me search here for purchasing. Yeah. Or if I want to search based on the event, also I can search. Okay. And now what I will do is that I will write a condition. So in the earliest step, that is in the mapping set, we have given that which account system should pick for this particular condition, if at all the condition is matching. Okay, so this is the place where we are specifying the condition. Okay, so let's say I'm writing this condition. So wherein my buyer equal to, let's say, Metro Express. So what I will do is that if I want to add a nested condition or the complex thing, so I can add it. But in this case, we don't have the complex scenarios. What we have is that the buyer equal to Metro Express. So I'm not using uncondition, or I'm not using the or condition. Also the open brackets. So what I have done is that I'm just picking the operator. So operator here I'm choosing is that equal. Okay. And now I'm selecting the value. So the value that I want to pick is that Metro user. Okay, so this is the user that we have. So this is the user that I have logged in also. So I'll just say okay. So how system will validate is that when this particular condition, that is buyer is Metro Express, what system will do is that system will automatically generate the charge of account which we gave in the earlier setup. Okay, so based on that, it is going to generate the charge account, destination account, and the variance account automatically. Okay, so unless we give these setups, system will not understand, or it will not process or allow us to complete the purchase order. So this becomes our mandatory configurations that we will have to give. Okay. Yeah, so that's it. So this is a simple condition that we have applied. So this could be the complex requirement also, wherein we will use the nested loop, and then we will fetch the values from each one of it. So in the on that cases, probably we will have multiple mapping set and the other thing. So for few cases, not only mapping sets, also we will link it with the sources. So source is the one which we saw initially as an first step. So wherein we will not be able to enter any transaction, but we will call the objects here. So in order to achieve our condition and these things to work. Okay. Yeah. So I have created this rule. Okay. So now we have created the accounting rule for one combination, that is, let's say, charge of account. I mean, charge account. So apart from that, we have destination variance and the other thing. So for that also we will use the same setup. Okay, so probably you can see that. So since it is same, I'm not doing it again. Okay, and then after accounting rule, what we will have to do is that we will have to set up the TAD. Yeah, this is just this one. So these are only the seeded one that is given by Oracle. Okay. So this is nothing but our source assignment. So I'll directly go to the TAD, that is account definition. And after definition, we will have to attach it. Okay. Okay, so this is about the tag basically. So this is where we define or specify to the system that this is how the accounting rule should be generated, the charge account combination that should be generated. Okay, so whatever we have created in the earlier step, we will be attaching it here. So let me first attach the chart of account structure that we have with us. Okay, so this would be 01 Apple COA instance. The moment we changed it, so the other values, whichever we were seeing the different fields, so it has disappeared. So the reason being is that this particular chart of account structure is very small. That is only company, account and department. We don't even have the inter-company segment. So this is very simple structure. So that is the reason we have this. So the reason why we have two different values, that is segment rules and the account combination rule. So when we say account combination rule, so this is nothing but I'm attaching the rule that I created in the earlier setup. Okay, if I want to attach, I can attach it here. So similarly, I will attach for all these five different transactions. That is accrual, charge, destination, and variance account. I mean destination variance and the variance account. So I can either attach the account combination rule that we created in the earlier setup, or I can give the constant value from here. So okay. So I can do either way. So in this case, what I'm doing is that I'm attaching the one that we created. Okay, I think Apple is the one that we created is correct. Okay, so what I'm doing is that I'm not creating a separate rule for each one of it. In real time, it will be each one of the rule that will be attached to this. But since this is only for understanding, so I'm just using the same rule. But we will not use the same rule for all these things because the account code will be different for accrual or the charge or the destination and the variance account. So for that reason, what we will do, we will create the separate account rules and we will attach it here. Okay. So now we have added this, but still if we see the status would be incomplete. So to make sure that we can use this particular accounting definition that we have done, so we should activate it. So unless we do activation, so we will not be able to use this. Even though we attach it with ledger, we cannot use this. Okay, so this becomes our mandatory steps to do. That is activating. Okay, yeah. So that we can see it here that it is active now. So now what we will do? So we will go to the accounting options again, and there we can attach our this. Okay, so here under purchasing, we can attach. So this is under accounting options. I can do this. Okay. So here already there is an accounting definition that is attached. So if I want to attach the one that I created, so simply I'll just query and I will attach whatever I created. Okay. So with this, we are good with our tab configuration. So once this tab is configured, so the next thing that we will have to configure is our approval rules. Okay. So can we see approval rule or you want to see tomorrow?
Yes, Arun, I think it's better. We'll continue from tomorrow.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Okay, thanks, Arun.
Yeah, fine. So I'll send the invite for tomorrow. We'll join that.
Fine,
Okay.
fine. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.